Welcome back. Okay, so today went out and played some street hockey. There will be a video uploaded to the channel. It wasn't a big public meetup. It was just sort of I even titled it, getting into shape, just to make sure that I do the treadmill every day, but just to make sure that I'm good to go. And yeah, I got hit on the finger. I don't know. I don't remember getting slashed, but it happens, and I realized towards the end of the game that my finger hurt. So these things happen. But I had this board made up before I left, and so here we are. I'm going to do this video now. And we're going to talk about the career of Rick Middleton. Now, I thought I'd already done a Rick Middleton video, so I looked on the channel, and I haven't. And Rick Middleton was one of those players who, during the era when I'm getting into hockey, was one of my favorite players. And this was before I was a Bruins fan. But I was obviously, leaning towards Boston at times. And then I finally became a full-on Boston fan when Cam Neely's there, Andy Moog's there. Middleton was still there at that point. So, Rick Middleton's a number 14 pick in 1973. 5'11", 175 pounds, which is noteworthy because by today's standards, might have ended up dropping in the draft because he's too short, right? But anyways, 74-75, he makes his debut with the New York Rangers. 47 games, 22 goals, 18 assists, 40 points. He plays 3 playoff games, no points there. 75-76, his second season with the New York Rangers. 77 games, 24 goals, 26 assists, 50 points. Bright future, right? But the New York Rangers, they want now. They don't want to wait for the future. They want now, which was a problem for the Rangers at differing points during their history. I remember at once we got into the late 90s, early 2000s, there was definitely that impatience of we've got to win now. We're going to mortgage the future for now. And so he's traded May 26th of 1976 to the Boston Bruins in exchange for Ken Hodge. So I never watched him as a Ranger. To me, he was always a Bruin because I didn't get into watching hockey full time until the 80-81 season. I caught the occasional game, 79-80, but not where I was watching it very, very much. I don't even know if I watched a full game. I'd watch parts of them. So 76-77, his first year in Boston. It actually is the year that his stats drop a bit. 72 games, 20 goals, 22 assists, 42 points. In the playoffs, the Bruins go to the final that year. 13 games, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. So really solid playoff run for him. 77-78, 79 games played, 25 goals, 35 assists, 60 points. So now his points are climbing, and in the playoffs, they go to the final again, those Bruins. In 15 games, 5 goals, 2 assists for 7 points. So nice run in the playoffs, and things are looking good, right? So eventually Boston will win a couple. He was there. They don't. But spoiler alert, right? 78-79, 71 games played, 38 goals, 48 assists, 86 points. And it's right about here that the Rangers are really regretting the trade, right? So Middleton in the playoffs, 11 games played, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. So now he's above a point per game, and he would stay there for most of the rest of his career. 79-80, 80 games, 40 goals, 52 assists, 92 points. Very good point producer. Very strong right winger in the NHL at that point. In 10 playoff games, 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. And then his numbers take a jump here. 80-81. 80 games played, 44 goals, 59 assists, 103 points. That was 10th in the NHL that year. A lot of scoring, which now we're in 2021, 2022, and we're seeing scoring going back up. Not quite to that level, but it's been close in terms of, just some of the totals being put up by players that are now, say, the top 20 in the NHL in scoring. So, just the 3 playoff games and 1 assist to speak for himself for that little short playoff run. He did play in the All-Star game. That was his first appearance in the All-Star game. Would not be his last. 81-82. Great season here for him. 75 games, 51 goals, which was 7th in the NHL. 43 assists, 94 points. In the playoffs, 11 games, 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. So he's a very good playoff performer. His numbers are good. He was a second-team All-Star that year. He wins the Lady Byng Trophy. He did not put up a lot of penalty minutes in his career. And he went to the All-Star game that year. 82-83, 80 games played, 49 goals, which was 8th overall in the NHL that year. 47 assists, 96 points. And this is where his playoffs, he sets a record. In 17 games, 11 goals, 22 assists, 33 points. Now, one of the reasons you're seeing this video now is because they kept mentioning the record that Middleton had during Connor McDavid's fantastic run through the first 2 rounds. So He's second in Lady Byng voting that year. He had 19 points in one series against the Buffalo Sabres. 5 goals, 14 assists in that series. So, remarkable series there. And so, yeah, 33 points in 17 games. Not too shabby of a run for Rick Middleton. 83-84, he plays all 80 games. 47 goals, which was 10th in the NHL. 58 assists, 105 points, which was 10th overall. So, that's twice now he had 100 points in the playoffs, just the 3 playoff games, and no points. He was second in Lady Byng voting, and he goes to the All-Star game yet again. 84-85, his totals drop a bit. 80 games, 30 goals, 46 assists, 76 points. In the playoffs, he plays 5 games, and he records 3 goals that year in the playoffs. Now, his career ends up being a little shorter than I think he might have planned or anybody might have expected coming out of 84-85. 85-86, he only plays 49 games that year. Doesn't appear in the playoffs either. 14 goals, 30 assists, 44 points. He suffered a season-ending concussion. Now, keep in mind, this is 1986. So for a player to suffer a concussion that keeps him out of the lineup, it has to be a bad one. It's not like it is now. He didn't have all the testing and everything. Really, concussions were not very well understood in the mid-80s. So the fact that he was out for that long, a lot of headaches, not able to play, and that was something that he would deal with the rest of his career. It absolutely shortened his career, the concussions. And so it's not a really short career, but it definitely got shortened by concussions. So, well, a massive concussion, right? 86-87, he does make his return. He does play 76 games. His totals drop, 31 goals, 37 assists, 68 points. In 4 playoff games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. And if he's angry about the concussion, it doesn't show on the ice. He was 3rd in Lady Byng voting. So, still, not a lot of penalty minutes from Rick Middleton. Gentlemanly player, his nickname being Nifty. I don't remember him being called, but again, that was a long time ago. Maybe I heard it and didn't think anything of it. But 87-88, in what would prove to be his final season in the NHL, plays 59 games, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points. And he would retire due to the headaches, the recurring headaches that kept coming back. In 19 playoff games, 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points, and the Bruins went to the Stanley Cup final and lost that year against the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, in 77 and 78, those are losses against the Montreal Canadiens. So, for Rick Middleton, it's a really solid career. 1,005 games played, 448 goals, 540 assists, 988 points. So, mentioned in a recent video that I was always confused by players not playing until their 1,000th point if they were close. Rick Middleton's one of those players I was confused by because, again, the headaches, the concussion, it just, again, was not nearly as understood then as it is now. So in 114 playoff games, 45 goals, 55 assists, 100 points, and 157 penalty minutes in his entire career in those 1,005 games. So while the Bruins sometimes rightfully have had a reputation for being a little bit rough around the edges, and I know people are like, rough around the edges, I'm unsubscribing. Really, Middleton was a gentlemanly player all the way through his career, and yeah, remarkable that he was able to keep his penalty minutes as low as he did. He had 33 penalty minutes in his time with the Rangers, meaning that's 124 penalty minutes as a Bruin in all of those games. So really remarkable, right? And that's in an era where you've got a lot of fighting, a lot of penalty minutes overall. So it is nothing short of amazing that he was able to keep it that low. He did win gold at the Canada Cup in 1984. He won silver in 1981. His number 16 was retired November 29th of 2018 before a game against the Islanders. And this is one of the reasons I was pretty sure I'd already done a Middleton career video because his jersey was retired. So I'm not sure why I didn't do a video in 2018 about that. Normally, when there's a jersey retirement, if I haven't done a career video on a player, I will do one because their numbers being retired by a team, I think it's fun to look at their career. So we're now looking at the career of Rick Middleton. About 3.5 years too late, but here we are, right? So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And while I'm at it, might as well put him in the THG Hall of Fame, right? It ticks off all the boxes. Player I watched growing up, a player that I admired, really enjoyed watching. And again, a good career. Is he going to end up in the Hall of Fame? No. So that's where the THG Hall of Fame comes in. I'll throw him in there. And there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.